Yeah, so I'm roughing with the draw knife.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut to within 1/8 of an inch of the layout lines.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we usually do at this stage is, and we probably shouldn't have done it before, is it's nice to have a raking light.
Yeah. Can you pronounce the IKEA name perfectly in Swedish?
I don't know what this is, and you can't buy them anymore.
Yeah, I know. I was so sad to see that they're gone. You can get
something that
a lot like it at, I think Lee Valley probably has something like this.
Yeah, except these were like $15 each.
Yeah, they were a lot less expensive. All right, we got a raking light. That's just low angle light, right?
Yep.
Doesn't really matter what the source is. You just want it to go like a really shallow angle across the top of your work. The side that's got the light on it is nice and bright, and this side's in shadow, so it's really easy to see the difference when you're cutting.
So I'm just going to really just knock these corners off. We're not taking a lot of material off with the draw knife. And I'm being careful about how much I cut off initially to make sure I've got a nice facet here.
Mm-hmm. So
it's cutting nicely so I can... And I'm just trying to get to within about 1/8 of an inch of the layout line. Draw knives, you're always skewing and slicing. Like that.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to work that one facet as far as it'll go with the draw knife.
Well, you know, if I were doing this, I'd probably do all the flat facets first and then the tapered facets. Because we've already tapered this,
right,
we're taking less material off here than here.
So you got to be really careful down on that tapered end when you're on the diagonal.
So now we're gonna so that's rough. We're not really, we're just trying to hog off material with draw knife. Now I'm gonna come in and easy to see if we rotate this. I'm kind of evening out the bumps and then taking long smooth strokes again off right up to the layout line, but leaving the line.
Finger up there and show, like you can see there's just a tiny little bit of flat left.
Right. So long smooth strokes will give you a nice straight.
And you're going right through the line this time, right? You're not worried about this line. You're only worried about the longitudinal line. And you know, if you're doing this in your shop, and you're even with a with a raking light like this, and you're having trouble, turn the shop lights off. You'd be amazed at how well you can see with the lights out.
Okay, so now I have two facets here and a flat in the center. Because this is narrow, I can just go. I don't have to alternate sides like we did on the wide cuts. Okay. Just go right down the center.
And work straight to the line now. 2 lines, I guess.
Have to take more. Well, once I even it out,
it should be, yeah.
I should be able to take.
If it's a straight taper, you just have to come further this way each time you start.
Right. And I'm working until those bevels disappear. The bevels that we cut become physical. Not used to
the curved sole. Yours is on the horse still. You know, I bought that curved sole spokeshave when I came to this class, and that's the only one I had, and I spent a week using it. And I couldn't use a flat one after that. I tried. I have one. Feels weird to me to not be able to like turn it out of the cut.
Yeah,
or...
I switch between them. I switch between a flat and a curve.
Yeah.
So I cut through the line a little bit here, so be careful not to...
don't get it
what
worse.
you're going for is flat this way, flat this way.
All right. Cool.
Same thing here. Work out the bumps. Long, smooth cut. I'm going to work at speed on this one. Out the bumps. Then long strokes until these bevels disappear. Pretty close. That's about all. That's good.
And these little marks here are not a big concern, right? That's something you clean up at the very end.
I tend to work for
shape first.
Getting the shape, and if I can get a good surface, fine. But most of what we're cutting, I focus on the shape. Most of and I do move the spokeshave one way or another to not get tear out, but I'm not going for a perfect surface with the spokeshave because ultimately most of this is going away.
Okay.
Anyhow, I really just want that shape. So you will repeat that all the remaining three facets, probably doing all the draw knife work first and then all the spokeshave.
So this surface has been knocked down with the draw knife, and now I want to take it down to the finish octagon face with spokeshave. So the first thing I want to do is basically judge an angle that's halfway between this and cut that down with the spokeshave and take it right to the line. So what I'm going to do is I can see that there's a big difference between the facet and the line. So I'm taking extra cuts in the high spots to try to get an even space between the line and the edge of the facet. And it's gonna be hard to do because I got really close to the line there. And so what I'm just gonna do is actually just work it a little bit at a time down to the line, and that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing over here. You can't see it. Okay, so now I'm almost on the line on both edges here. So I have my iris, my intersection done. So now I can see that this is where I've cut deeper. It's wider on the top where I've taken deeper cuts. So I should start with the narrow spots and take a little material off until I get a stripe that's down the center that's about the same width. And if this was the tapered end, I would want a nice even taper from one end to the other. But now I've got pretty much the same width all the way across, and I can just skew the spokeshave and take nice long smooth strokes. And if I see that the material left behind is changing width from one end to the other here, it actually disappears right here. That means I've tilted the spokeshave a little too much to one side. So I want to come back the other way. A little bit of material here that I'm trying to take off. Okay, so now I can kind of evaluate my work, I can look at that dark line down the center. Is it coming out dark on the camera? Or is the light's totally different? So what I'm seeing is
you can see
the shadow, from the, so if I hold it up higher, you get a really strong relief. So I can, take a look. It's like, it's a little bit narrow right in here, and I can see that there's a little bit of material above the line. So if I really wanted to get particular, I could go back and dial all these faces in, but Jeff will tell me.
But what does dialing in mean?
Dialing in means that every one is the same width from one end to the other and equal to the one next to it. And that's what I'm thinking is dialed in.
So equal width?
Equal width this way.
And straight.
And straight, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to see either the line shifting back and forth, or you don't want to see it doing this. And I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. Maybe I could take a little material off here. I can see some places where I left some extra material, so I could. This was the one I was pushing, I think. So I was looking and I found, finding some tapers that aren't perfect or as close to perfect as I would like. They're not all enough to really make me feel like I can't fix them. Now here's one where that whole face on the end, I've gotten it kind of skewed.
So you can't fix that, but it will come out at the next.
Right, because the only thing that'll remain when I'm done turning this into a circle is that edge, is the value right down the middle. So if this side's a little low, it'll be okay.
So any place you go past the lines, don't try to fix it, because it'll come out in the next step.
It all evens out. So here's a spot where I didn't take enough to see some material. And this is why you don't take the lines, because you can
well, you also can't tell where you are.
Yeah. You can't see what you missed, and you can't see where you're supposed to be. Okay, I'm happy with this.